Hi, welcome to Curiosity. I'm Gary J, your host, and today I thought I'd ask the question, has ghost hunting TV shows killed the paranormal scene?
The desire to know and learn something.
You're listening to Gary J's Curiosity.
Now, time and time again, I see videos on YouTube of ghost hunters trying to emulate what they actually see on TV. Everything from Most Haunted, Ghost Adventures, Paranormal Lockdown, Ghost Hunters, you know the programmes, you've seen them all. But people seem to be missing the point on this. And the point of these shows are to get viewers, go up in the ratings, and then become big revenue spinners for the TV stations. But to do that, they actually have to produce exciting content for every single episode, which will often result in a lot of fake evidence in order to keep the ratings up. And that's what some people seem to be forgetting. So, if that is what is actually happening, you've got to ask the question, have such shows killed the real paranormal scene? Well, for real ghost hunters, I'd say the answer was yes. Because when you're out there trying to capture real evidence, the content that you've just captured is often overlooked because 99% of the time, nothing actually happens. So people will often go and watch programs like Most Haunted, Ghost Adventures, because something happens every single time. But in reality, nothing like that actually happens. I mean, I've often sat in locations for hours at a time and I've captured nothing. For those of you that do go out ghost hunting, be brutally honest with yourself. Take away your spirit boxes, your K2 meters, and your EVP recorders, and ask yourself, what evidence have you actually caught on an investigation, and how many times? I will guarantee that it's zero. How many times have you ever taken a clear photo that isn't full of grain, that you haven't got light streaks on that's caused by slow shutter speed, that isn't blurred, that isn't a double exposure, that isn't behind a curtain, and that isn't obscured in any way, but is close enough for people to say 100% that that is a ghost or something they cannot explain? Like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be zero. Now, if you have such a photograph that is that clear that we can depict what it is 100% and that we can say, yes, that is something we cannot explain, then please upload the photograph somewhere and send me the link so that I can have a look. And I will almost guarantee that there will be an explanation for that photograph, or it will not be clear enough for us to view and say that is a ghost.
You're listening to the Curiosity podcast.
But how else have these TV shows killed the paranormal scene? Every time you look on social media, there are hordes of groups claiming to be paranormal investigation teams, and they have their own website that show each member's picture and words like medium, sensitive, skeptic, etc. underneath the pictures with a little bio, you know how it goes. And they even have matching t-shirts or hoodies with the name of the paranormal team and their name on the front. See, this sort of thing started when the TV show Ghost Hunters, or TAPS as it was called back then when it was first broadcast in 2004, and Jason and Grant stepped out wearing those famous matching black jackets with the word TAPS wrote on the chest in yellow. Ever since then, the whole thing has got that ridiculous that people are wearing all sorts of stuff like printed caps, t-shirts, jumpers, hoodies, pants, etc. I mean, it's got that bad that I'm actually waiting for someone to come out with some knitted mittens that the mum has made them for the group with string through them that'll go through the sleeves so they don't lose them on their investigations. At one stage, when Most Haunted first came out in the UK, we actually had some paranormal groups who had to consist of a blonde female wearing a dark long coat just like Yvette Fielding. Now, I actually remember a group advertising in the paper Loot, which was a paper here in Manchester, asking for a blonde to join the team with a brief description of what they wanted, and then finished off with those tantalising words, "Think Yvette Fielding." Holy fucking God. Now, I don't even know what happened to that group. It's most probably debunked somewhere. I don't know what's happened to it. But nothing's really changed since then. And even in present day, we still have people following the same format as what they actually see on TV. It's like, oh my god, Zach Baggins is using a black candle, we better get one too. Oh, hang on, there's 3 people in that group. Let's fuck Johnny off because he's holding us back. I mean, Jesus Christ, these are things that we used to do when we were fucking kids. I mean, you see Batman on TV and you'd want the costume, or you'd get your parka and put the hood on your head and go out and pretend to be Batman. Or you see Chips on TV on the motorbikes, and then you'd get your pedal bike, you'd go outside, put a bit of cardboard on the wheel to make it sound like an engine. Or you'd see a war film and then you go out and play army on the field. But instead of it being kids emulating what they actually see on TV, we now have adults all dressed the same, running around in the dark, with Tracy yelling to everyone, "She can feel the presence of a young girl." Tony with his spirit box making more noise than a fucking kid with a boombox in the 1980s. Mark who's faking an attack and no one gives a fucking shit, so is taking no blind bit of notice of him. Carol who's trying to take some blurred pictures for Twitter just in case there's a ghost hiding in the dark corner in between the fucking grain. And people are expecting the public to take their group seriously. Really? It doesn't matter how much electronic equipment that you have and how much it's worth. If you come bouncing in like Zach Baggins, you and your team are going to be a laughing stock. If you really are serious about ghost hunting, then concentrate on that and not all the bollocks that you actually see on TV. Now, I have to be honest, the only time I would actually accept a group wearing the same gear would be those who run something like a ghost hunting tour.
You're listening to the Curiosity podcast. Do something that scares you.
You see, the other thing is, who said that you have to have a medium, a sensitive, or whatever you want to call yourselves these days? Oh yeah, of course it was the TV shows. Now, most of these people in these groups that claim to have psychic abilities have no more psychic ability than my cat, and are often just friends of friends who are coming along for the ride, just, you know, a bit of a night out and a bit of a chat with Tracy, and, you know, getting a bit scared in between. Now, every psychic medium on the TV shows have all been proven to be as useful as a chocolate fireguard, and in scientific conditions, they would fold like a fucking melted Mars bar if pressured into proving their worth. Now, if you listen to my podcasts on a regular basis or you watch Curiosity, you will know what I think of these so-called paranormal electronic tools like spirit boxes, EVP recorders and Mel meters. And I think the reason people use this type of shite is because of these shows. But none of this, and I mean none of this crap, has ever been proven to provide evidence of ghosts, life after death, or any other paranormal event. Yet we still have people using it. Why? Well, I'll tell you why, because it justifies why they're there and what they're actually doing. Now, any sane person would know that what is actually happening in the event of a spirit box is a mixture of radio broadcasts, luck, morphing static, power of suggestion, and in some cases actual fakery. But when I point this out to a lot of people on Instagram and social media, I get blocked. I wonder why this is. If a person's evidence is so strong, then why do they need to become verbally abusive and then actually block me? Or, in some cases, make me block them?
You're listening to Gary J's Curiosity.
Now, Noel said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Why do you have to put subtitles on screen when apparently you capture an EVP or a ghost is coming through in a spirit box? And why do you have to put a red ring around a so-called face that is within the grain? Because none of that is strong evidence. I mean, you wouldn't need any of that if the audio was clear, the photo was clear, the video was clear. Just by putting a red ring around something doesn't mean that it makes it any more haunted or any more real. And please don't give me this, it's energy. It's hard to come from the other side. If they're just energy, then why the fuck are you seeing a face within the grain? And question is, why are they actually hiding in the dark? Are they shy? What's that all about? I mean, they can attack people, they can throw things around, etc, etc. You know how it all goes. But yet all of a sudden, we're struggling to see them because they're hiding in the dark because they're a bit shy. Now, I'm not saying that ghosts are not real, but I really don't think they're as common as what people actually say they are. And I don't think for a minute that all these photographs, what we're seeing, that have got faces in the grain, etc., are actual ghosts. I do not think that at all. That's just you actually fooling yourself or trying to fool the public, trying to get a bit of exposure for yourself. and again trying to justify why you're there.
You're listening to Gary J's Curiosity.
None of this equipment that the TV shows use prove anything, and if there is any such thing as ghosts and demons, none of this would be needed to prove it, would it? They'd actually just be there. That would be it. Full on fact. They would be there right in front of you. And you would know it. I'm pretty sure if demons are as bad as what they claim to be, or what people claim them to be, I'm pretty sure that you would know that they were there. But when I try and explain this to people and keep saying I'm not seeing anything because I'm not lying about anything, I get people saying things like, it's because your energy is really negative and that's why you're not seeing anything. Bollocks, it's because I'm a realist and I fake nothing. I walk around building after building, place after place that is claimed to be haunted on my own in the dead of night to try and capture something real. Something that will finally prove that there is life after death. And the moment I do capture anything I can't explain, I'll put it on YouTube and I'll ask what it is. I won't be telling people what it is, and I won't be using misleading thumbnails like demon attacks us when it obviously hasn't, or poltergeist wants to kill me when it obviously doesn't. These YouTube videos that do this are misleading everyone just to gain views, and this is because they want to make a lot of money, and they think the way of doing this is to emulate what they actually see on TV. I mean, when you see these type of thumbnails, be honest with yourself. Have you ever seen anything like what is being advertised in the photo? Of course you haven't. If there ever was a demon caught on video attacking someone, it would be big news. Churches would be full, most ghost hunters would stop, and if a demon did attack you, you would be dead. I make documentaries and I'm a filmmaker who also has an interest in finding the truth about what's going on in and out of the paranormal world, and I could quite easily use what I know to fake evidence within my paranormal documentaries, but I don't. I've even made a video to prove how easy it is to fake evidence, and that is just basic editing, so imagine what I could do if I put my mind to it. But I have no interest in becoming yet another fake YouTube channel or paranormal TV show. So if you are a ghost hunter or you're part of a group, do what you do. Don't emulate what you see on TV. Don't try and copy everything you see because it's there for entertainment purposes only. Try and do the real stuff and see what you can come up with. Anyway, that's nearly it. So, what are your thoughts? Has TV ghost hunting programs spoiled the real paranormal community and make those who do it a laughingstock? Or is it all just a bit of harmless fun? Leave me a message with your thoughts. Until then, thanks for listening to the Curiosity Podcast. I'm Gary J, and remember, there's a new podcast every Thursday. Plus, if you like what you've heard, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, don't forget, you can visit my website at curiosityuk.net, listen on SoundCloud and iTunes, and also watch the Curiosity series on Amazon Prime. Chat soon, and remember, do something that scares you.
The desire to know and learn something.
You're listening to Gary J's Curiosity.